YouTube? It's Ryan Phillips and my oldest son. We're gonna be flying these together. He's got the heli drone today, which is the F11-S, and I have the non-heli drone, which is the F11. They're both Apaches. They're exactly the same, except for the livery is a little bit different. Both of them we got with 2 batteries. You can get up to 3. I would not get anything less than 2, okay? These things are really easy to fly. This thing takes a little bit of effort. You can watch our video right now and find out how I changed the Expo to make it more flyable. It's very windy right now. This thing is going to do great. I trust my son to fly it. I trust my wife to fly it, for God's sake. He can definitely do it, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and set these to go and we'll come right back. Okay guys, so we're gonna take the wind meter out again just to show you. We've got the max set. This does knots and everything, so we'll link to this thing. But basically the wind is shifted 180 degrees from when we started. Now it's going this way, and it's about 3 miles an hour down here, so we have a little bit of protection, but then look at the trees. When we get to altitude, it's gonna be way more. And by the way, I just got a downdraft of about 5.5 miles an hour, okay? So this is really handy to have. It's not necessary, but we were just waiting for his green light to go to a solid green, okay? Once it's a solid green, we can take off. Mine doesn't need to get a solid green. His just beeped and it went to solid. So what's gonna happen is camera crew and I are gonna find ourselves over by the dock. You and I are gonna go over here.
Okay.
So just safety first. Obviously, if you're flying 2 helicopters, watch out for wash, okay? Especially if you're the one flying the one you actually have to fly, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so camera crew, are you ready to get some awesome footage? Yeah. Okay, I have a throttle hold I'm turning off.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm arming.
I'm arming too. Wait, how do I arm mine, hon?
Is it down and out? Mine's armed.
Up, down. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna take off first.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Okay, give her heck.
Okay, I'm going.
I'll go up high. Oh, that's so sweet. Now, full disclosure, guys, I'm flying this thing, okay?
I'm gonna go up higher.
Go up probably a little bit higher.
Yep.
Good
I'm
job.
Go over the pond more.
Oh, that's so sweet, guys. Look at this. Look at this. This is moments of life, okay? We got 2 Apaches. Get a little higher there, Andrew, so we can see it with the profile. Oh, that is so sweet. What if they were battling right now? I'm gonna go low. You don't change your attitude. I'll stay low, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That is so sweet. Now I'm gonna go up over and get into the wash. You see how quick it responds? That thing doesn't care at all.
I am barely moving it.
And mine, I'm flying it just like you have to fly a helicopter that has an auto leveling device, okay? So let's bring it down. Let's bring it near the water, okay? So I'm gonna just defer to your judgment on how much distance you want. I'd go about 8 feet,
okay.
9 feet off the water. Bring it down just a little bit lower if you can. Okay, now if you switch to the LiDAR sensor, you might find that you have a bit of a problem because it's not designed to have that LiDAR work below its takeoff zone, okay? Now watch this. Guys, how often do you see such a sweet sight? 2 Apaches in the same field of view. I'm gonna come up for formation flight. Just do a small circuit.
Okay, I will start turning right here.
Okay. Yep, do it. Do it like you have something to shoot down. Very good. And then of course I've got wind I'm fighting, but the thing is I'm used to actually moving quite a bit more. Camera crew, are you doing all right? You don't need to worry about keeping up with me. I'm probably gonna move a lot more than you. Yep. You guys see the difference between the heli drone and the not heli drone? You gotta actually fly this thing, but it's not hard to fly. It's just harder to fly, especially when it's really windy, okay? So let's see if we can get some targets in our crosshairs there, Andrew.
Okay.
Try to come over by me. I'll try to hold my position. Is that a hawk right there that just took off? No, it's not. Okay, sweet. Okay, now turn like you're gonna go toward the mouth of the creek and let's just take a slow travel. Let's take a slow trip. Guys, flying with your kids is a pretty cool thing. Come on now. That is so stinking cool. You can go a little bit quicker if you want.
Oh, I'm just trying to stay, not get hit.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine. You just keep doing what you're doing in a very consistent way and I'll go above or below you, okay?
I'll go down a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be good. Remember, there is a time where you let go of the controls, it will jank that thing hard, okay?
Yep.
So I also am a little bit more Johnny on the spot on my responsiveness because of the nature of this heli, okay? Let's go up just over the horizon so we've got this That is so sweet. Oh man. Guys, even in the not heli drone, I gotta say with this Expo, we have this thing just working great. That's good enough height.
Yep.
Stay right where you are there, if you can do it. Maybe just go in a circuit. Do you wanna try the figure 8?
Ooh.
Pull down the figure 8 and I'll try to do a figure 8 with you.
Pull up the figure 8.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Whatever direction.
I'm in figure 8 now.
Okay, so it's doing a figure 8. Just monitor it.
Yep, I have my hand on that if I need to turn it off.
Because we haven't even tried that yet. So I'll try doing some figure 8s.
Yep, it's doing that by itself.
That's so sweet. Oh, so nice. Gotta love it, guys.
There it goes. Okay, I'm gonna turn it off now.
Yep, and you should be able to take control now, just like before. Now, I'm gonna fly over us for a second. Camera crew, you good? I'm gonna travel right over you. You just keep watching. You stay where you are. That is so sweet. So guys, if you're looking for something fun, these things are second to none. I gotta say the Apaches are really well done. They're expensive, but they're worth it. And if you need the heli drone because you don't know how to fly helicopters, I gotta say, let's try doing a lower pass. Okay, I'm gonna let you get lower over the landing zone, okay? Let's kick up some major dust.
Okay, I'm gonna go right over.
Okay, you just do your thing. I'll come in behind you, okay? Camera crew, you good? Okay, so Andrew, of course, is gonna get over the landing zone. I want you to hold that pattern. Just stay right where you are. Kick that dust up. Camera crew, I'm not gonna encroach on you, okay? Just stay right where you are. Oh, that is so stinking sweet. Oh my goodness. Kicking up tons of dust. Look at the erosion. I'm gonna have to fix all that crap. Okay, I'm going under. You think I can go under?
Yep.
No, you stay where you are. Oh man, that's kicking up dust like something fierce. So sweet. Okay, so Andrew, what are your thoughts on flying this thing? Are you nervous other than the fact that your dad is here trying to tell you how to do it?
Not anymore. I was nervous because of the wind, but it really isn't that much of a problem.
And guys, it is really windy.
It is. I wouldn't want to fly a big plane in this.
Just trying to keep them both in frame for me has been challenging. Camera crew, are you keeping them mostly?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep away from mom, okay? I don't want to have any accidents. But yeah, these helicopters are really sweet, guys. I'm gonna just get real low. See, that's something I can do that might be a little easier for me to do because the GPS heli drone might want to have a tendency to want to land. That is so sweet. Give me a couple feet and do it yourself too, okay?
Okay.
Oh, that is so cool. All right, Andrew, nice job. Get lower, lower. Remember, it's a heli drone. There you go. Watch your hillside. It might correct you into the hill with this wind, okay?
Yep.
So you just got to remember the heli is not aware of the terrain. It might be aware of the terrain under you. Going over, camera crew. So now, do you want to try just a little bit over the rocks?
Yeah.
Mine is not going to land itself, but there is feedback. Why don't you take one of the middle rocks and I'll take this rock. Guys, it is incredibly windy. Okay.
It's pushing me a little now.
Yeah, well, just fly it. Remember, I gotta fly it. Good job. Way to go. Now I'm gonna just bring it toward me, okay, camera crew?
Now I'm not touching it at all.
Oh, that is so sweet. Coming in, just hanging out with my buddy. Get her done. That is so cool. Whoever our enemy is about to die a very horrible and very quick death because it's gonna be like Hellcats and damnation blowing all over them. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, going up and over, don't change your attitude. Don't change your altitude. Okay, I want you to land by getting up a little bit, go a little higher. Now, stop your stick, so just hold still. And I want you to try, go so that if it were to go straight down, it's not gonna crash, okay? So go over the dam. Very good. Now, go ahead and press the button into the home position. It's the GPS button on your furthest right.
Down.
Pull it down.
Okay, pressing it.
And it's gonna go up, okay? Now while that's happening, I'm gonna fly over the top and I'm just gonna do my thing. Now just watch it. Okay, it's gonna land. You're not doing that, are you?
Nope, I'm not touching it.
It's just doing its thing, camera crew. I'm doing my thing, just let it do its thing. It's gonna find its home position. And it's resisting the wind. Let's let it do it. Oh, that's so sweet, guys. Okay. Oh, look at that little tornado. so sweet. Now, do the kill switch, which should be the danger setting.
It's down.
Okay, now I'm gonna come in and land next to you so we don't have to walk very far to have our picnic lunch. Yes, so dang cool. Guys, it's incredibly windy here. I know that a more skilled, more competent pilot would be able to make this look even better. But I'm just gonna go over to this area and I'm just gonna get my body a little closer. Oh, look at that. That is so stinking awesome, guys. Camera crew's gonna be all dirty. Okay, here we go. Down we go. And she's off, throttle holds on. So there you have it. What an amazing experience. And the sun comes out to kiss our beautiful Apaches good night. It is so much fun flying these things. If you get the GPS heli drone, you're getting a co-pilot that you can't have. If you don't have the skill, just pay the extra money and get what you want. Because I'm gonna tell you this, the difference between these two things is a lot of money, but guess what? If you crash that one, you're a lot of money in a lot of pieces. I've done it before myself. Many people have done it too. If you want to learn how to fly a helicopter, you're going to be more likely to learn how to fly a helicopter with this, full disclosure. This thing is like making a suggestion, okay? It is not the same as flying this. You can actually fly both of them upside down. You can do all sorts of crazy things. But I'm going to just tell you this right now. See the 6G, that's the stabilizer. You can also go to 3D where you can fly it upside down. You can do all the crazy tricks you want to do, but you do have to be a pretty good pilot to do it on these, okay? Because you lose some of that stabilization when you go into that mode, in my experience, okay? So hopefully we answered all your questions. These things are phenomenal. Andrew, you want to grab yours?
Yeah.
Look how sweet they are with dusty window. That is so awesome. And yes, we do have tinted glass on this one and tinted glass on his. So what a beautiful experience. Be super careful you don't chop off your throttle cut.
Yep.
So when you're ready to get one, now you know which one you need, okay? Hopefully we answered all the questions. Yes, you can fly this if you know how to fly a small drone, like a Christmas time $30 thing, but you just got a lot higher consequences, okay? These are not that hard. Watch the Unbox build radio setup and the maiden flight of this one if you want to know how we set up the Expo in this controller. It really made a world of difference. And then on this one here, just about anybody can fly it. Andrew actually is a pretty good pilot. He's a budding pilot in RC, and so he knows how to fly planes, but he rarely flies helicopters.
Not so much helicopters.
So helicopters are a totally different thing. They're really fun, they're really cool, and they're engaging as heck when you've got a cool place to fly. So thank God every day for this, and for our wonderful audience that helps us support these type of big, huge, weird capital projects, like the Damn Gift Shop that's gonna be over there where all that grass is cut. So you guys can get the first kind of look at how it's gonna lay out, okay? So if you wanna help support us, all you have to do is look no further than the video description below. This video is actually about the GPS heli drone, hold that thing up, and not necessarily this one, okay? So we had another video on this. You can see the full detail on it. All you have to do is go to brianphillipsrc.com and you can sort by type. Should be really easy to find them for your basis for comparison. However, just keeping in mind, we did not have this when we had this.
Right.
But we did have this when we had that, and thus we have them both in this video.
And we'll link, oh, they can't hear me. We'll link to both.
Yeah, she doesn't have a mic.
We'll link to both, and I'll put them all in the same playlist.
Yes, so that
if
you can
wanna
find
see
them.
both
Yep.
easily, you can do
So it's gonna be super easy to find, and I can tell you this right now, if you like the green and the olive drab as a break, is make or break to have this dark navy color, which would be more like a Seahawk color, which I think is totally sweet. It says United States Army on it. I kind of figured it'd say Navy or something, but I don't even think the Navy has them. I just think the Army does.
Yeah.
So either way, absolutely gorgeous, super cool. And yes, you can take that radar thing off. I think it's a radar jamming device. You guys are gonna have to let me know in the comments. Yeah, I believe you can take that off. It's screwed on with a singular screw. I'm not sure how far down it goes. I like it, so I'm gonna keep it on there. Initially, I didn't, but then I started looking at pictures and I'm like, wow, they have really adapted that onto most of the Apaches anymore. So very cool, awesome experience. Get one today, links in the video description below. If you wanna support us in other ways, we have Patreon for monthly support and YouTube members for also another choice for monthly support. And then we have PayPal for just one-time donations, and then YouTube super thanks for one-time donations. But we still firmly believe the best way to support us is watch the videos, smash the like button, click the bell to subscribe when you are watching, and then you'll get notified of new content that comes out all the time, and then make decisions when you find something you really like. Buy it from the links. That's how you do it, guys. All right, that's all we got for you today. Xiang, good job on everything except for basically the labeling on the controllers is still piss poor, if you ask me. These things are very capable and they're plenty good, but they just don't have them labeled very clear. And that's one thing that FW does a lot better job on. And I swear there's somebody out with like a label maker sticking them on there. I mean, it's definitely not manufactured and it's still silk screened on there. So maybe Xiang, you need to have somebody with a little label maker and just print them off and stick them on there. So anyway, that's all we got for you. Very cool product. Thanks for helping us out, Andrew.
Yeah.
Thanks to the camera crew. She can't say any of her quips today because her mic is on him. Yeah. So pretty cool.
Sorry.
All right, stay tuned. So much more right around the corner on Brian Phillips RC. All right, so if you guys were wondering why this one went to land earlier, we were kind of talking about this on the way back up to the house. And so this one was not dead, but I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this. You can pull it while it's running and you can hear how this would respond if the battery died. Okay, so I'm gonna shut that off. And then what I can do is I can turn this off. Okay, so by that claim, it should be probably like between 75 and 50, okay? Andrew, if you could press and hold the power button first, since I probably should have done that in the first place. Okay, now that it's off, squeeze and lift right there. You can use your fingernail if you can't get it. If you need help, I'll help you. And it's this little tab on the front, in front of the gun.
There we go.
It's awkward. I did notice this one was a little bit more bitey on the sides of the battery.
Oh.
This is his first time doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be careful.
So here, I'll help just so we don't break it because it's brand new. Side and forward, okay? Once you pry it, then it walks up and out. So we just wanted to show you the battery life. So Andrew's gonna shut off his transmitter, okay? So you can see this is the one that I was flying that's not the heli drone, and this is the heli drone. So I'll just pop these off because we were charging them earlier. And we'll just plug this one in on channel 1. So 3.68 volts. And we'll go to start. And it shows 11%.
Oh,
that's
okay,
how
that was yours?
Yep. Yep, that's right. And then his was at 3.73. So it's probably going to be about like 15%. Okay. Sometimes they get a little weird when you start them too quick. You see what's happened, guys? You ever see this on your smart charger? I think what happens is sometimes you just do it too quick. There we go. There it goes. So 19%.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you guys can see the 19. Now it's at 22, but it was at 19 when we started. And then over here, we're at about 17 now. So these things do charge really quick when we charge them the way that we were charging them. And so also keep in mind, this little thing, it is actually pretty nice when you need to know definitive results on wind. But we are at the bottom of knolls. And so especially where the dam converges, there's just a lot of dam air movement. So you gotta watch out for it. So one of these little things is kind of handy. And I love the fact that I don't have it hooked up to a stupid smartphone. I just turn it on and it works. It's like 30 seconds and then I put it in my pocket. Interestingly, it seems like the wind's always lower than I thought it was. So I've probably been saying it wrong for years.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. All right, stay tuned. So much more right around the corner. Thanks for that little blurb at the end. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look what we have here. This is a GPS heli drone. It's amazing. Look at that thing. Look how detailed it is. It's so dang gorgeous. If you want an Apache, get this thing. If you don't need GPS heli drone, we're gonna show you exactly the difference between this and the one we did just a few weeks ago, okay? Because most of you don't need the GPS heli drone, and we're gonna show you exactly why you might, okay? So we're gonna flip this thing over. We're gonna show you the full startup procedure. We've already got our battery with our gun installed. You have to install that on each battery. We got 2 batteries with ours. Press and hold it until the lights come on. Once the lights come on, you can see the LiDAR detection. So cool! And we're gonna lay this down. We're gonna look at that little flashing light right there. It's flashing, it's flashing, it's flashing. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna have our transmitter turned on, which it is on. And I just wanna point out, you can barely see the display right now, which is maybe not so hot, okay? That green light is slow flashing, okay? So what's gonna happen is we wanna be in auto, auto up, danger. I want to go to GPS, which is the middle. Okay, so I'm in the top. Now I'm in the middle. That light will switch to a solid green. We're going to step back just a little bit for safety. Oh, and by the way, what do you do when it's windy out, guys? First of all, you take one of these amazing wind meters and you say, why are you trying to dash my dreams, Mother Nature? And then you can see how fast the wind is going with a min-max setting. It's really nice, although it just calmed down a bunch right where we are,
all of a sudden,
which is very weird. So now you can tell from looking at this about 2 miles an hour, which is not bad at all. We're gonna turn this off. GPS heli drones usually keep up with the wind. And as you can see, the green light is now solid, guys. You see that thing? Solid. That's what we want. Okay, you ready to arm this thing?
Okay.
Camera crew, let's come back over here. Sticks down and out. It's gonna wake up the helicopter eventually. That's my understanding, okay? And then once it wakes up, I just can't tell if the dang thing is on. It looks like it's on. There's a blue light on. Can you tell?
Can you see the blue light?
I can see the blue light, unless it's just blue. I just turned it off, I think.
Oh, no, I can see the blue light.
I just can't see the screen.
Wow.
Guys, you have to know if you're buying this thing, screen is not gonna work real good in the sun. So this is the arming sequence, right?
You have to be in unlock or you're in danger, which is what you want, right?
Unlock, lock, okay? See, you see nothing? You can't see anything moving. Okay, so up, down, nothing like that. Sticks down and out. We're in GPS. I'm gonna go like that. All the way up to the sensor. It's not gonna unlock, okay? So then we're gonna go back to GPS and we're gonna pause. So as usual, the Xiang manual and markings are so confusing. That says danger. Danger should be here in unlocked.
Yeah.
Okay, sticks down and out. That's
There
what
we
I thought I was supposed
Okay.
to do. Let it spool up. Give it some altitude. Come on. Hold the up. There we go. There it is, guys. And it is not calm.
No.
It's not calm. That's why these heli drones are so popular, okay? Because look at that. Amazing, beautiful Apache. And yes, it is flying in some crazy strong wind, okay?
Now you can test the wind
Now you
while
can
you're
test
flying.
the wind. Okay, so guys, let's see what the wind is. Okay, here we go. I gotta point it into the wind, so I'm gonna hit max.
Yeah, see we're at 5.46 there. 6.
And it's not, it's holding its attitude and
Oh, yeah.
altitude, 6.37.
6.37 with a
okay,
high.
so that's pretty incredible. So now let's go ahead and fly this thing around. First of all, with GPS heli drones, you don't need to be an expert pilot. And in fact, I'm just gonna start with this. The camera crew needs to be flying, okay? So camera crew is gonna fly it. Just push it away from you a little bit.
It just like snaps right back.
I know, it does, and that's what happens. Bring it up a little so we can see it in the sky. So as you can see, she can fly it. Push it away from you. There it is. Awesome. Guys, look at this. That thing is so dang beautiful. Oh, the blades are holding still. That is so sweet on the camera. So guys, as you can see, you could also see the little green lights. Okay, so the camera crew, she's not even nervous. And there it is. She even wore kind of like the Navy outfit. I forgot about that. Okay, so here it is, guys. If you're brand new to the Brian Phillips RC channel, look at those LEDs. Oh, so gorgeous on the wings. Really good visibility.
Yeah.
Bank that thing, you got a rear-facing taillight. Let's go right over. Oh my goodness, those lines are just absolutely phenomenal. Guys, I love an Apache that flies good. We got the Xiang that was not a GPS heli drone, and I just want to tell you, we had to fight it and set up some different expo, and once we did, the thing was just fine. So if you've got the skills to set up expo on a heli, and you don't mind having a little bit of work involved, then you may not need the GPS heli drone. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, this one is a little bit more of a blue color as opposed to a more olive drab color. This has a bluish hue to it.
Dark gray.
Dark gray, exactly. Yeah. And so what you wanna do is you wanna just basically figure out between your budget constraints, your GPS needs, and then also how you're gonna fly it. Look at this thing, guys. That wind is kicking like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm not even looking. You cannot do that with a non-GPS heli drone, okay? Even with the other Xiang, I would have to be actively flying it in wind like this because it's not spatially aware enough. So let's go ahead and run down to the pond because that's what we want to do. This thing is just such a sweet looking helicopter. I'm gonna try to keep it low because it's easier to see. That's one consideration you might need to make is if you are flying this and you are flying it in an environment where it's like that, you may not be able to see it, okay? So just remember, when you get an olive drab aircraft like a Huey, you gotta be aware it's gonna blend in because that's what they're designed to do so they can kill you with it. Not the drone, but the real one, guys. Look at that, look at this beautiful look, guys. Easy to fly, I'm able to just point the guns right at us as we fly around. What a beautiful, hey, look at us over here, Apache. Oh yeah, come on, Apache, let's do it. That thing is so gorgeous. And by the way, there was some talk in the manual about going below altitude, but only when you're in the optical flow mode, okay? Which is actually LiDAR, okay? So if you're in optical flow mode and you're trying to fly this thing, then what you wanna do is you wanna get it. Oh, that is so sweet. By the way, you see the correction due to wind? Be careful that tail doesn't come down to the ground, okay? All right, so let's fly by the rocks. We just did some de-grassing, and so you might notice you can get to the rocks easier now. So then the Apache can come and sneak up on you. Look at that, that's so dang sweet! Oh man, that is gorgeous and delectable. Right over the water, guys. Oh man, did we do the Seahawk before the pond was done, Cam Crew?
Yeah, we did.
Oh man, that is so sweet. Oh, I'm loving it, guys. Now, I gotta also say, if you have a helicopter that you can park like this and just look away, that is incredible, guys. That is a feat of engineering, okay? We put these rocks out here so you could walk out and you could see the fish, okay? But now I can walk out and see my helicopter from a sweet vantage point. It's so cool. And I gotta say, look at the blades, so gorgeous. So I wanted to hate on the GPS heli drone status, but I gotta say the thing is working absolutely fantastically. I got zero problems with this thing. It's so dang cool. Up and over, stay right where you are. Up and over, I won't hit you, I promise.
You know.
Oh man, that is so dang beautiful. And guys, just to give you an idea of the size, I had a Blade heli that was an Apache years ago. I still have it. I showed in the Unbox build radio setup. And that thing is absolutely phenomenal looking. This thing looks better, okay? I hate to break it. That had some definite advantages in the size because it's so small. But this one is more incredibly versatile. It's incredibly detailed. You've got the antenna on the top, or rather not the antenna, but the radar system. I think it's a jamming system that goes on top of the rotor. So if you guys are brand new to Brian Phillips RC and you don't know what we do, we take it from the box to the air. We wanna get you guys set up. And so we're gonna show you some past experience along with our current. Look at how windy it is. We're gonna fly it over by this obstruction, guys. This is actually, believe it or not, a pretty tight area, okay, folks? So if you're brand new, oh yes, we could trim the weeds with this thing. Oh man, look at that view.
Kids will be thrilled.
Look at that, look at that. Oh my goodness, it's so dang gorgeous. So guys, if you're brand new to Brian Phillips RC, what we do is we try to help prevent one and dones. I can tell you right now, if you don't know how to fly a heli, but you wanna fly this heli, anybody can fly this heli. It's going home. Please don't turn prematurely. Guys, that's what happens when the battery gets low, okay? So the only thing about it is I wanna make sure I have altitude. I had to break it because it was gonna fly into the side of the house.
Side of the house.
So I'm gonna fly over here just to get it away a little bit. And then I'm gonna basically, it's giving me limited control right now because I broke that return to home function, okay? So once I get close, I'm gonna go back to GPS because this one doesn't go as high as the Flywing, okay?
Are you flying now or is it flying?
Nope. It's flying.
Okay.
It's in, I actually just flipped it down instead of up. So I'm in the optical flow sensor. So now I'm gonna basically go to GPS. If it goes toward us, we have to break it again, okay?
Okay.
So GPS.
Yep.
And it looks like I'm gonna go return to home. Oh, I guess it's close enough.
Okay.
Okay, so that might just be land right now.
That's possible.
So we all learned something today, okay? First things first, danger, which it's not.
It's
that
not.
should say safe.
Safe. I mean, if you do that in the air, it's going to be dangerous because it's going to fall.
It's gonna fall,
But that's
right?
counterintuitive for...
So, folks, this thing is awesome, but you saw a huge problem. That thing was aiming straight for the edge of the house.
Yep.
I had to break the auto land here by going to that setting, and then it was giving me only limited control, okay?
Okay.
Because it perceived the helicopter at a lower altitude than it had previously been, because we fly downhill to the pond, okay? So
Quite
a
a
smart thing to do would be to take off and land down there, okay? So there's more in this flight. We want to show it up against its immediate competitor, which is also a Xiang, but it's not a heli drone, okay? So because of some family plans, we're gonna have to pick this up a little later today. It's gonna be immediate for you, but this thing is awesome.
Yeah.
I really, really like it. This thing does everything it says it's gonna do, and it does a really good job because it is incredibly windy, gusty, and turbulent wind. That is not laminar wind. It is moving around. You can see from the
Cumulonimbus.
Thank you.
Yep.
Those clouds starting. When those clouds start, that means we're gonna have storms, but it's gonna be puffy and beautiful and awesome for filming. Guys, if you wanna help support Brian Phillips RC in the meantime, even before we bring out the other helicopter, then look no further than the links in the video description below. This thing is sweet. It's everything I hoped it would be. And guys, to be honest, I was gonna totally beat up on it for being an unnecessary, expensive feature. That's because here on Brian Phillips RC, we don't care what you guys buy. We're gonna show you the difference between this and the other offering in the Unbox build radio setup, so you can see both of them side by side. And they are exactly the same, except for the additional GPS flight controller additions, okay?
And they're a different livery.
Different livery. So this one's a little bit darker gray, like bluish gray, and the other one is olive drab, so it's gonna be more like a green, okay? So if you just want the colors, remember, you can get the colors, but you're not gonna get the GPS heli drone. If you don't know how to fly a heli, the GPS heli drone is gonna do it for you, okay? I'm serious, guys. And I don't say that because I want you to blow an extra plane worth of budget on this thing,
Right.
okay? Because that's about what you're doing, okay? Cheap plane, but still.
Yeah.
This thing's awesome. It does what it says. It's easier to tell what direction. I was watching Jay. Jay was doing a video on this thing the other day, you know, and we watch everything, you know. We're always online. We do just like you guys do. And he was talking about how this is better than a drone because you can tell what direction it's flying. He was spot on that assessment, to be honest, okay? Because you can tell what direction this thing is going. It's got LEDs. You don't have to depend on like, oh, green is front and red is back, or is red back, or is black front and white is black. It's so confusing when you're new, or if you go from aircraft to aircraft to aircraft. Of course, you get used to it. But on something like this, there's no doubt what direction you're going.
Yep.
But you can also see as the camera crew and I walked down the hill, I was able to fly this thing in all attitudes and orientations as we go. Plus, I can bank and make it look sweet, okay? So that's all we got for you today. There's gonna be a little bit more a little later if we can get to it, and we're gonna show both of them side by side. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. What do you do when it blows hard? You open your GPS heli drone. That's right, coming to you from China, straight from China. This is Brian Phillips RC, except I'm not in China.
When did we get to China?
Uh-oh. I think I hear ticking.
Ooh.
It's obviously a bomb case. So I kind of let the cat out of the bag, and maybe the thumbnail did too. Oh yeah, GPS heli drone. Okay, first of all, we don't normally do this, but this is important because there has been a long-held complaint in the RC audience, and that is, why are these things so expensive? We're gonna show you why today, and why are these things so cheap, and how do you tell the difference between them, okay? GPS heli drone, that's my name. Evidently the Chinese have not copied it yet.
Just give them time.
Not a GPS heli drone, okay? We're gonna show you the difference right now. With this Unbox build radio setup, which is gonna go very smooth. This is called the F11-S from Xiang, okay? So I just wanna point out the fact that it is a different helicopter than this, which is the
F11.
F11.
Only.
Okay? So again, this is the F11-S, okay? 132nd AH-64D, okay, which is an Apache. And then this is a 132nd AH-64D, and you're probably thinking, oh, my brain is about to explode with all these
too many letters and
acronyms.
numbers and...
Okay, let's show you what it looks like in the bomb case, guys. This is what you get, a bent manual, okay? This talks about GPS, okay? So this is like the quick start guide. Gyroscopic calibration, mode 2, American hand gyroscope calibration. Is that like for larger hands?
Yes.
I don't understand. And then this is Japanese hand. Okay. I think what they're trying to say is mode 2, mode 1.
Yeah.
Fine. And then this is the GPS geomagnetic calibration. If you could just read that
That'll be
for
super
us, that'd be
helpful for
great.
us,
Right
yep.
there, read that one.
Pack a lunch.
Dang it. I knew you were gonna say that. Okay, so then this remote control functions, it talks about all of the different functions. And as usual, Xiang has gone out of their way to not label the transmitter, if I'm guessing right. That's one thing that Xiang does a terrible job of compared to their competitors. And when I say competitors, I mean these guys, FW. They do a really nice job of labeling. China, if you're listening, label your switches. Seriously. We can talk about the trade deficit. All right, as you can see, it comes out of the package almost exactly the same, okay? So the transmitter is where you can usually tell there's a difference, okay? So the batteries are like this. They have a push button you press, and it wakes them up, and then you can see what the charge level is. This is between 75 and 100, between 50 and 75, between 25 and 50, and between 0 and 25, okay? Pretty simple, and then you can press and hold to turn it off, okay? There's a little balance lead here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pins, but don't be confused, it's actually got 7 pins, and it only uses a few of those pins for the battery function, okay? Let's just double check so that we don't accidentally put the wrong one on there. Now this does have a gun that mounts under, okay? So we're gonna show you how the charger works, then we're gonna start showing you the differences, okay? The reason we're gonna start with the charger is because I wanna get the batteries charged, okay? This does come with everything you need to fly it, with the exception of the AA's or AAA's for the transmitter. Okay, so we'll just come over here by this one, and I just wanna point out something. This has a slightly different color than the other Apache, okay? So it's like a darker gray. This is like an olive drab, and this is more of like a navy olive drab. I don't know, it's like a navy blue, but it does come with the same color on the charger. Now I do like this charger technique because you can use a standard or a smart charger provided you have the right adapter. In this case, this would be an XT30 connector to get into whatever your charger supports. So in our case, I have adapters that would get me from XT60 or XT30 to an IC3, okay? Well, in this case, an EC3. Not that it matters, they're interchangeable, okay? And then a standard Hextronics balance lead. So what I was talking about is this has many pins, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So we're just gonna show you how this charges. So we'll just slide this down in here, and I'll show you with the stock setup so you can see that it works. Of course, if you're buying this for yourself, you wanna know you're gonna get everything that works. And on Brian Phillips RC, we show the entire Unbox build radio setup, usually at the end of the video on a Heli. So if you don't need this stuff, you just watch the flight, you make your decision, and you go on with your day, okay? If you decide to buy this, buy it from the links, you'll help support us. It's a big deal, okay? So this charger takes your input voltage, which in this case is 120, or it's 100 through 240 volts AC at 50 to 60 hertz, and the output is 15 volts at 2 amps. So that's a pretty good amount of power from a really light charger. So that's gonna get hot as frick. And then this is gonna energize something, not that. It's gonna energize this, which is basically a small balance charger. Interesting, 9 through 16 volts, plus and minus. So the plus is in the inside of the drum connector and the minus is on the outside of the drum connector. That energizes the balance lead, but you'll notice that there's no main discharge lead. So you just have to pair this up with the correct side, and you see how there's teeth right there and right there. And you're probably thinking to yourself, but Brian, the type of person that's gonna buy this helicopter is gonna know this stuff. Wrong. This, maybe, that, definitely not. That's a GPS heli drone. Just about anybody can fly them because the GPS and the flight controller flies it. This here is kind of like flying an RC era helicopter, like this, or like this, or like that, okay? This is another GPS heli drone, okay? We'll show you how to identify that quickly so you don't get burned, okay? Now we're also gonna use the other charger just to go ahead and throw this onto a smart charger so you can see how it would respond if you decided to do that. Be careful, these pins are not super robust, so get that penetration exactly square, okay? We do prefer square penetration, right?
Yeah, when it's offset,
It's just awkward for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Okay, now you don't have to use the 2200, you could use the S155, but it's a little easier to see the display. So as you can see, oop, I grabbed the wrong one. No, I did, I grabbed the right one. So this is gonna go in, just a little adapter. I built this, you can buy these things too. So this would be an IC3 or an EC3 to XT30, okay? Okay, so you can see that it's at 3.9 volts. So this goes to 4.2. So obviously that'd be a little bit too fast. And how big are these batteries? Full disclosure, I'm grabbing the other helicopter. 1800 milliamps at 11.1 volts. So 19.98 watt hours. So this is gonna be a 3S, that's 11.1. 1800 milliamp hours means 1.8 amps. So you can charge at 1C would be 1.8 amps, okay? 2C would be 3.6 amps. I'm gonna charge it at 2C, which is plenty good for a helicopter. And it's at 65% charge rate. You can see what the balance is here, and then you can see what the impedance is, the resistance between the cells, but that takes a minute to populate on these smart chargers, and you can see right there. I don't know what the hell that means. So there you go, guys. Basically, this is gonna charge. We don't need to keep the twisty tie, although we probably
You don't need to, but I'm sure you will.
So if you look inside of here, we've got some stickers, which is nice. Okay. We always love stickers. A spare tail rotor, so that's pretty sweet. Okay, so you can see that. Okay. And then of course up here you've got the spare, these are the missiles and things, so we'll have to install those too. So it says gunship on it. I'm sure they probably don't put that on the real ones, because that'd be lame. And then this comes with the cable. This cable is used if you're gonna use an FPV camera and or light of sorts. This gives you 3 points with which to solder onto your control board. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And that might also be an SRXL adapter as well. But it comes with 4 blades, 4 blades. If there's 4 on the helicopter, you should get 4. We had a helicopter the other day that came with only 2 on a 4-bladed helicopter. I thought that was lame. So we always keep these with our kits. Oh, and it comes with some spare tires, which is pretty sweet. You wanna squeeze my tires? They're like real rubber tires.
Squishy. Yeah.
They're not really pneumatic, they're just like hollow.
There's a million tiny screws in there too if we need those for something.
Oh, we are gonna need them for the missiles. So we'll just throw that over there.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll go ahead and grab a nice squishy pair here as well. These protect the sticks whilst in transport, okay? So also check your sticks, make sure they're not about to pop out, because if you're flying and one of these sticks pops off, you're gonna have a bad day. Except This is a GPS heli drone, so you don't even need to fly it. Okay, so that is gonna be somebody's complaint, and I know it's coming. Okay, so this says, return to home, GPS, and then I think that just means what's that sensor they put on the bottom?
Oh, the optical
flow. And then this is danger, meaning flyable. And then this is like land and shut off the prop right now. Okay, which you'll notice they put that in a really awkward spot if you'd ask me. So that's gonna be part of the arming process. Digital proportional radio control system, 2.4 gigahertz. This does not have a camera. This is not a screen. It's just going to turn on and give you a little bit of limited information. Figure 8, circle, and then it's a momentary push button. That's kind of weird. So weird. Auto and manual. So this is actually the best labeling we've seen on a Xiang helicopter. So maybe they listened to our previous videos. Okay. So it looks like 4 AA's. So the cam crew, she actually has those in her pocket.
Prepared for
Amazing.
once.
So we're just going to slam these in real quick. Now there is a little contact point in there if you decide you want to put in a rechargeable pack.
Oh.
So you can solder that in if you'd like, or you can just put in 4 AA's like everybody else. Okay. So then you can turn this on, and there you can see you've got some limited information. Now this does have a protective sleeve on it, so I'll just leave that for now. Mode 2, that can be changed if you want. That'll take a picture. That'll start the video. I'm gonna stop that by pressing and holding. Okay, now remember, those are those extra pins on the bottom of the battery. They're gonna pass through, okay? Then there's this, which is land, okay? And then there's mode, okay? Then there's high-low rates. High rates, low rates, okay? So it's got a little bit better feedback than some that we've seen from Xiang. I do not like this antenna style if they don't fold up, and they do fold up on this, so that's good. You always wanna keep those perpendicular and preferably at 90 degrees of each other, because that is the most likely way to pick up on signal. Now you're gonna notice this one just has 1 antenna, this one has 2, okay? There's a little bit more feedback going on. So you just get a little bit more value here, but it's not like you're getting some amazing transmitter that you're gonna use for all your airplanes, okay?
Right.
It's not like you're getting an NX10 or something like that, okay? Now also this, real quick while we're standing here, shows our 3.99. It shows all the cells, cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, and then all. So it shows the total. And as it charges, it's gonna keep updating the video. So you guys can see that on the screen. All right, so we haven't talked a lot about the differences in heli drone, but we are gonna cover that here in a minute because you're gonna start seeing stuff as I pull the heli out. Oh yeah, this is so beautiful. That is sweet looking. I don't think they put that in the right spot though. That eye is supposed to be up here and that mouth is supposed to be up here. What the heck? Doesn't that eye go up here?
I don't know.
We'll look at the other one.
What does the picture on the box look like?
Well, I don't know. Well, I'm just like looking at the other heli. I mean, it looks sweet. I'm happy with it. It's still pretty awesome. And just to show you, these are fixed and stiff, and they don't spring load, but the tires are softer. They are rubber, but they're not like springy, okay? You don't want an overly springy landing gear on these. We found that on the Blackhawk and the Seahawk, they have a little bit more squishy tire, and they also have a spring-loaded mechanism. We've had one break on us before and had to fix it. That is a real pain in the neck. Also, if you have these things and they're too loose, you can tighten those just a hair, and the tool to do so is provided in the package, okay? So absolutely gorgeous. I actually kind of like the way this looks. I just wish they would have pulled it forward a little bit because I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be up here. So, but otherwise, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, we've even got handles on here. These are shaft or flare launchers, I believe. And then of course we can outfit ours with all the ordnance, which we're totally gonna do. And so that might take us just a minute off camera to do here in a minute. So just to give you an idea of the process, you can turn this off. You don't need it on while you're working on the helicopter, save your batteries. If you need to replace the tail rotor, it does come with that, which is really nice. And so my suggestion is obviously always put this stuff together and put it back in the bomb case, I mean radio controlled helicopter case, okay?
Which is nice that it does go back. Well, once you put the ordnance on, it's probably not gonna go back in the case, is it?
That is actually a good question that you can ask right now, and I'm gonna tell you this, that was in the case, but not with the battery installed, okay?
Right.
So, because our batteries are charging, I'll go ahead and use this one to show you. There's a nice little slot to put the batteries in, okay? So that works really nice, but you're not gonna do that with the one that's got the gun on it, okay? So you may have to take and carve just a little bit of foam out here if you decide to arm it with a gun, okay? So my suggestion, of course, as always, is to go ahead and load up all your ordnance and get that ready for your maiden flight on helis. Now, I don't do that on airplanes because it creates a lot of extra drag And in my experience, drag is not your friend, unless of course you're talking about flaps, and then it is, okay? Also, I use my own tools in this awesome case, so don't be jealous. I made that out of garbage.
Yep.
So if you guys haven't already heard the answer to your question, we're probably going to get to it soon. And one of the best things about these Helis is just kind of unlike our living room. You can pack them up and hide them away if you're not into having 4,000 things out in your living space. But I am gonna tell you something. One of the best parts of getting helicopters is that they store a lot easier than planes.
Yeah, they do.
A lot easier.
That is true.
You could have 1,000 helicopters in this room and it'd be kind of tight, but you could never put 1,000 planes. Well, I mean, you might be able to fill it like volumetrically, but you're not gonna basically be able to do it and get to any of them. Oh, also, this does come with an international plug for the adapter, the AC adapter.
Oh.
So if you're in an overseas application, that does come with it. Of course, we don't need that here because we're in North America. So you may get a different adapter if you're overseas. And by the way, speaking of overseas, when you order from the links in the video description below for this exact product, you'll be able to order from overseas locations. Just go ahead and follow the link, make sure they ship to your country. So if you're following from the UK or Australia or New Zealand or wherever, I think they cover all of it.
Yeah, I think there's a few exceptions, but it's a few.
A few. And there might be some limitations on batteries and different glues and
Right.
things that come. So just be aware of that. We don't set the rules. We just have to follow them.
But they basically
we're just
say
peons.
worldwide shipping.
So the reason we're the peons is because they have these and we don't. The real ones. If I could get a real one, I would. But my wife won't let me.
No, she won't.
And I think I could afford to fly it for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Be like, well, I'll cover the first 5 seconds if the government covers the rest of the 400 hours.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and put our ordnance on, both the gun on the battery and the ordnance on the wings. So why don't we go ahead and show some parts of that, and we'll omit the redundant stuff.
Okay. Sounds good.
So real quick, we just dump out all the Hellfire missiles and everything. These aren't Hellfires. These are like ground penetrating explosives. That is so sweet. And then I'm gonna match what I did on the other heli. And I just wanna say, in terms of looks, feel, quality, it's exactly the same, except there's an additional GPS board here, and then there's an additional light on the back. Now, that light on the back is really helpful in terms of visibility,
Yes.
even though it is completely not scale. That's gonna go from yellow to red to green, depending on the mode that you're flying in. And I can tell you this also, this doesn't move, but I'm still waiting for helicopters that have moving surfaces, because that's gonna be so dang cool. Okay, so let's talk about these first. They slide on, so they're real easy, but you wanna support this with your fingers because they are not super strong, okay? So I don't want you to break your heli right away when you first get it. And one of the reasons that we show every step on Brian Phillips RC is because I don't know how to shut up. And then secondarily, because we know that some people need help. That says gunship on both sides. I was thinking I might try to slide it in there. And you see how it's got an angle? So that angle tells you what direction is forward, okay? So if you slide this in, what we do on Brian Phillips RC is pretty obvious to anybody who's watched us for some time. We unbox, build, and radio set up these airplanes, helicopters, and whatnot. Good Lord. They sent a lot of spares.
Did they think you were gonna
just
throw away your screws?
I think they're just saying, like, when you take this apart to fix it or whatever, then you might, they even have a line cutter on this. That's so cool. Look how far up the line cutter is on this helicopter.
Is it not on the other one?
Yeah, there is one on the other one. If they're cutting your lines with an Apache, you're gonna have a really bad day. Really bad day.
Or a short day.
Or you're really lucky because the line cutter's not gonna work. And, and I had some people asking about a hind. Yes, please. I would love to have a hind, and I could go in there and have battles between the good guys and bad guys. That'd be so cool. Oh, and by the way, look at this. So this is that is most definitely a camera. That is the down sensor.
Flow part?
Yep, exactly. So, but there's definitely a camera there. That's weird. I wonder if there is a camera there. That'd be sweet if there was.
Or is that just for the GPS landing part?
I think it is just for the GPS landing part. But the thing is, I wonder if there's a way to tap into it. So we might have to actually look in the manual a little bit for that. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get this loaded on so that we can show the people, because there's only 2 screws. I thought it was gonna be worse than that. This one is at 99% And full disclosure, of course, we're charging it on a not provided charger. We don't mean to trick anybody, but if you want to buy an S2200, be our guest. We have links to these types of things on brianphillipsrc.com, or you can just look in the video description below if we link. Usually we link to the plane, the battery, the transmitter for a given plug and fly sort of plane, like
Or the receiver.
like the Avanti 90 that we just did, okay? Or the Calvin PC6. Yeah. We're never gonna let them.
No, we're not. They're gonna have to like change their name.
They're gonna have to change their name just because I can't say it right.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I'll just pop this out. You'll notice it's gonna go to off. Okay, this is obviously not a smart battery.
Right.
Okay. So what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna get this screwed on here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off both of them. Now, of course, you've already seen this, but our plans are to take off both of them.
Make sure you...
Yes, very good point. This is a little bit less than obvious. See the pins go down, see the pins right there? Okay.
Right there.
Okay. So this slides in and then down, okay? And it sounds terrible, but it's fine. And then these things squeeze in, okay? So it's pretty straightforward. I think the average RC aficionado is gonna be able to figure out most of this stuff without watching a video like this. But part of the reason that we do this is to take the edge off of the scariness of spending this much money on a model and then having a complete disastrous failure. Because at the end of the day, here on Brian Phillips RC, one of our main aims is to get people in the air that are brand new, and to also bring people back into the air that used to be in the air, but left for whatever reason, whether it was a medical issue or a family issue, or they moved away from their flying field. Oh, and that reminds me, we should probably talk about weight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this helicopter is gonna be definitely, I don't think it's sub 250, but we're gonna find out really quick, because if it is sub 250, that's awesome. But before we do that, let's go ahead and install these screws. These are very small.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I know. Oh, but that works. That's pretty good. By the way, somebody asked me the other day what type of screwdrivers we use. We have links to all this stuff on brianphillipsrc.com, and we have a link that says supplies, okay? So you can just look right there, and if you buy those things from the links, you help support us. And by the way, you hear me say a lot of times, buy things from the links. That's the best way to support us financially. And obviously, we want you to watch the videos and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, we are more about growing this hobby and the market penetration, meaning sales, than we are about just like entertainment channel. There's a lot of guys that do this that are just all about entertainment, and it's always the next big crazy thing that they did. Well, we do crazy things too, but we just do those more infrequently because we understand that the rationalization between somebody that's looking for entertainment while they're pooping and somebody that needs help setting up a helicopter they just spent like $600-700 on is very different, okay? We're the people over here, they're over there with the poop. That's not everybody is just doing it for poopers. So what we're gonna do is we have a 99% charge on this battery. So I think what I should do by rights is go ahead and plug it in, get it fully charged.
Okay.
Because I think it's unfair assessment if we do this without fully charging it. So all I have to do now is just seat it in the socket, press and hold, and hit start. If it was just in there, you can do it again. This is also 2-channel, by the way, which is really nice. So that means I could actually have 2 of these set up, which, because we have 2 of these chargers, we could actually do that. Rather than using the provided charger, which you can see it's at 12.3 volts, so about 4.11, about 4.10, at a 4.10 volts DC per cell, okay? Now this discharge lead doesn't need to be plugged in because this is a balanced charger, okay? This forces the power in and then balances simultaneously, which means we can set the speed higher. One of the most boring, necessary, and dangerous parts of this hobby is this crap.
Yeah.
Okay? This will burn your house down, okay? You can crash a plane out in a field and burn a field down, extremely unlikely. You can crash a plane into somebody and hurt them, extremely unlikely. But you need to respect batteries, because batteries are where the #1 danger is. The second danger or somewhere up there in the front is props, okay? These things spin fast. They do eventually fling free. If something breaks, you have to actually use your eyes and check these things, because when it's going like 250 miles an hour and it's this far from your face, when it comes off, you're going to be blind if it hits both eyeballs. So don't be that guy. We don't talk a lot about safety because we understand you guys are grown men and women that are watching this, except for the ones that aren't. So please be careful, okay? And the other thing is, let's talk about weight now that we have this. Now that we have this, we're gonna grab a kitchen scale and we're gonna put it on the scale and we're gonna see how much the thing weighs, because sub 250 means that you're legally compliant to fly without any sort of remote ID, okay? I don't believe this thing is sub 250. They don't make truth claims that it is sub 250. And so we're gonna assume right now that these batteries are identical in weight, and we're gonna assume that the gun is, you know, a gram or two, okay? So if you're looking for closeness, let's just figure on 140, and then let's see if we can get this thing to sit on its nose. That's probably not gonna work very good. How about we bounce it on the top? That's not looking very good either. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try doing this. I can just balance it. It's always awkward when you get a small scale. There we go. Is it on there?
558.
So definitely not. Definitely not.
Yep.
So you don't need to worry about the gun because
Nope.
you're already way over.
Yep.
So what does that mean for the average Joe? Okay. Average Joe flying out back at the family farm. My take on that is, might be different than yours. And so I don't give legal advice on this channel. But my suggestion is follow all rules. Be a good boy. Because then they don't come with Apaches and shoot you. I don't think they're probably gonna do that, but there are some pretty steep fines if you get caught doing things. I think generally what they're looking for is
Your
people.
foam is sticking out over here.
Ooh, man. Whew, that hurts. Sticking out and close the bomb case on it. Ouch. So I think at the end of the day, what you wanna do is you wanna be as compliant as you can get away with. And be good. Be good as you're willing to deal with the consequences, okay, kids? Because evidently we're all just a bunch of kids and the federal government knows best.
Of course.
I'm not gonna start that conversation. But the truth is, there's not much room in there for remote ID. But let's just talk about that. If you decide you wanna fly in a FRIA, which is an FAA recognized identification area, you can fly legally without a remote ID. This is one option. We actually have another one coming. This one comes in a little bit less than $100. You would provide your own battery or you would peel off power, and look at that plug. Looks really similar, okay? So this remote ID has a pretty big case on it. By the way, that case can be removed, okay? But it has your serial number on it, so you gotta be careful. Now, if you were to use this, you might be able to stuff that up in the window, okay? In fact, let's just see if you can. For those people that want to be compliant, then congratulations on doing that. We don't tell people what to do here, we just tell people how it is, and then you can decide how you want to handle it. If you do fly with this, you're gonna have a heck of a time fitting it up there, okay? You may have to do some modifications. Here, that battery, let's see if the battery will fit. Now that's not plugged in, full disclosure, but let's see if we can stick a battery in there. I'm guessing you can't. So the one that we're about to review is smaller, okay? But just to give you an idea, yeah, that ain't going in there.
So you're gonna have to make some modifications.
You have to make some
need to do that.
modifications. Now, does that mean it's unsurmountable odds? No, it isn't. If you wanted to have this, you could tape it on here for all I care. And the truth is, when you have a ready to fly plane or airplane, airplane or helicopter that comes from China, they basically are not gonna follow the rules because they don't have to. There's not much that the federal government can do against them, unless their name is DJI, evidently. But what they're gonna do is they're not gonna come after all these little baby manufacturers. They're just not going to. They don't have time, they don't have money, they don't have resources, okay? They'll just come after you instead, okay? So it's your responsibility to comply if you decide to comply. I'm not gonna be the whooping boy for the federal government though. So if you decide to do this, go for it. The easier thing to do would be to fly in a FRIA. But if you're flying in your, local, backyard basketball court or at your neighbor's house and, you know, whatever. I don't care where you fly. That's between you and God and the FAA and the president, the vice president. So anyway, all right, here we go. So just fly in a FRIA or get yourself a remote ID and tape it on somewhere. Wrap it in aluminum foil like 6 or 7 times for safety.
Don't skip the introduction.
The introduction, okay. Very good. So we'll just scan through real quick, make sure we don't, whoa, don't pee in there or fart. Don't light your farts on fire. That's important. Yeah, so those lights are maybe not so well calibrated, let's say. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? There are so many words on these things.
Do we want to look at this and then come back and give them
Yeah,
highlights?
we could give you guys the cliff notes, but I'm just going to tell you this right now, that right now, this is the information that you're going to get. Our experience with, and okay, so this is a little bit weird. We have an insert that speaks to GPS function and calibration.
Yellow one. Is it different?
I'm wondering if they maybe had changed this a little bit. Okay. This is to start, manual start stop. Okay. In-flight stop. Oh yeah, this is the in-flight stop like we talked about. That'll kill it and it will fall to the ground. Okay.
Yep.
So plan on braking your helicopter. But then also there is accessible screws here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can pull that off and you can get to all these plugs. Okay. So if you ever need to work on the flight controller, it's right here. Okay. And then right here, notes on the lower visual model. Please be aware of your surroundings. The visual system only plays a supporting role under limited conditions and cannot replace human judgment and control. Users should always pay attention to the surrounding environment during the flight, maintain control of the aircraft throughout, and be responsible for the control. Okay, the lower vision system tracks the lower objects through the lens, and the limit to takeoff height is 6 meters. Please avoid taking off on the building roof. Flying over the building roof will cause the lower vision to fail, and thus the aircraft will drift. In this case, you should immediately fly the aircraft back or immediately switch to GPS stabilization. Okay, so I think what they're saying is that if you were to take off from this building that's 2 stories high, okay, fly and then go below that surface, it may cause confusion on the helicopter. Now, in our case, we have an elevation change from our takeoff zone to our flying zone over here where we usually fly these things over the pond, okay? So that might be something we should keep an eye out for, okay?
And it does also say it's unable to recognize surfaces with textural changes, and it does include water. So we might need to keep that.
Well, but just remember,
mind.
we'll be flying in GPS mode, okay?
Right.
So if you're asking, hey, can I get this and fly this at my local fly-in in the Gulf Dome, which by the way would extinguish any requirement for drone registry, okay? You can fly indoors, fully legal, without remote ID, okay? And you can fly huge planes in there legally, I believe. I don't even think the weight limit matters.
I think as long as you're inside, right?
But if it's big and you can fly it inside, then that's a pretty special scenario.
Yeah.
But just real quick, as we continue through, it looks like they do talk about the different things that you might want to consider. What is this? The ELRS receiver channel switch settings corresponding to flight. Oh, okay.
Open source.
Oh, the T20 open source communication protocol, remote control setting parameters. So this is T20 open source. Okay, cool. And then the end. As usual, it's a Chinese manual. You're going to get very limited value out of it. But if you want to read through this thing, you can probably learn some things. We're not going to read the whole thing because we're too lazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly this. We're going to show you what it does. I mean, you guys already saw it. We're going to compare it to this one over here, and then you guys can make a decision based on what we bring forth, okay? I don't think that there's any reason that a normal RC pilot would have to get a heli drone over just a regular helicopter. This is stabilized. It's very easy to fly. I don't want to say anybody can fly it because we had to adjust some settings on it to get it flying good, okay?
We did.
This is not going to do as good in wind like this, but it will still do okay because the stabilizer is going to help. But this thing is going to be like on it, okay? So what's going to happen is I'll probably fly both, and camera crew will also fly this while I fly that, is what we aim to do. So we hope we can get that for you right now, and we hope we answered most or all of your questions. By the way, our gun equipped battery is done. So if you just scroll down, you can see where the voltages are, and you can see how it's attempting to continue to balance this non-smart battery. Okay, so we can just peel that out, which is really nice. So if you've got kids that are flying helicopters and you're considering something like this for them, by the way, full disclosure, I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna stick it right here, right now, and then I'm gonna press start and I'm gonna hit start. Okay, why? Because this is faster. Okay, and we could charge it faster than 2C. You could probably do a 3C on a helicopter and be safe. There's 2Cs in LiPo technology that can be very confusing. There's the discharge rate and the charge rate, which is sort of stupid because we call them out differently. One is a C rating to quantify how fast you can discharge, like this. This is kind of like the overall heavy dutiness of the battery. It's largely BS, okay? A 50C pack is generally better than a 30. A 30 is better than a 25. A 25 is better than a 20. A 100C is a lot better than a 30. But really, is it? What they do is they put different dividing members between the lithium polymer packs, the cells, because there's 6 of them in here. You can kind of see the lines here on the top of here. And then they usually wrap them with different and stronger tapes, which helps to resist puffing, okay? This is soft pack, so if you were to get into a hard pack territory, where you're talking about for cars and trucks, then it's a very different environment, okay? We don't even know what C rating this is. We have a wattage rating, okay? Which is a real rating, okay? This also has a watt rating on it. If you look close enough, where do they have that? Rechargeable. Actually, it doesn't say it on here. So never mind, it doesn't say. Oh, 25, and that's, the max charge rate's 25 amps, okay? So they actually tell you. So 25 amps would be 5C, okay? So you can see right here, it says max charge 5C. So my rule of thumb is you can usually do about 1/10 of the C rating. So if it's like 25C, you could probably do 2.5C. Are you confused yet? Yeah, me too. And then don't confuse that with multiple cells in a pack. We don't say 3C, we say 3S because they're in series or parallel. So if they're 3P, then it'd be 3 cells in parallel, which means you have a 4.2 volt charged battery that happens to be bigger by a factor of 3 cells, okay? If you have 3 in series, then you would take that voltage and add it together because you have 3 times 4.2, or 4.2 plus 4.2 plus 4.2 becomes the, in this case, 11.1, right? Well, that's not the way, they give you like a nominal range, okay? So it's right in the middle of the useful charge, okay? LiPos are 4.2 down to about 3.2, 3.3, somewhere in there. You can drop them as low as like 2.8, 2.6, and the chargers will usually pick them up. But there is gonna be a limit. If you over discharge a battery, the chemistry gets potentially out of hand. If you overcharge them, meaning you go over 4.2, you can also make the chemistry to where they start puff, they get too hot, they'll catch on fire. It can be dangerous, so don't do that. That's why you have chargers that are battery management systems like this little thing, okay? So that little blue thing that comes with the helicopter will protect you from that. If you're brand new to the hobby and you're just getting back in and you're used to having little motors that ran on nitro or diesel or gasoline or whatever, there's so many new things to learn. We're gonna get you up to speed a little bit at a time. But remember, there's not one single video that can tell you everything you need to know unless it's about one particular product. And we're gonna have a lot of crossover from that plane to this helicopter and this helicopter to that, and so on and so forth, until the point where you don't need our help anymore. And that's what we're trying to do here, is teach people not only to be successful in the hobby, but to start at the right spot. Because if you start at the wrong spot, you're gonna quit at the wrong spot, which is right away. We call those one and dones, okay? So if you like what we're doing here on Brian Phillips RC, smash the like button, obviously. Click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe. Leave comments with questions, and we'll do our best. We can't keep up like we used to. Admittedly, it breaks my heart because I wanna hear what you guys have to say. And I really do blast through and read a lot of comments, but I don't always have the capability of replying, especially when they're technical questions. It's really hard for me to keep up. Because if you ask a question and I spend 5 minutes on it and I have 10,000 comments to reply to, that's 10,000 times 5. It's impossible, okay? It's not because I don't care, I really do. So it's kind of like when I go in my basement, I see planes like this, stacked floor to ceiling throughout like 1,800 square feet of the basement. It breaks my heart that I can't go fly them all, okay? Because we're trying to do that And that is the unseen selfless side of Brian Phillips RC, because I love this so much. I just want to go out and fly, 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 fly. The other day I flew that plane 3 times off camera. I think that's the last time I flew off camera in months. Okay.
Probably, yep.
So what you see is really what's happening at Brian Phillips RC. And we're gonna keep doing it as long as you keep coming back. If you wanna support us, the best thing you can do is buy helicopters when you like them. Don't buy the wrong one, buy the right one. Don't buy the most expensive. Don't buy the cheapest, fastest, bestest, bluest, grayest, whatever. Buy the one that's right for you. And we're gonna help you determine that. I'd probably buy that if I was you. It's cheaper, okay? It doesn't hurt our partners because the partners have both offerings, okay? But if you think you want the GPS heli drone and you just don't have the skills, I gave my father-in-law the sticks of that Bell 206 with a similar control system.
Yep.
He does not fly.
Nope.
He does not drive RC cars.
No.
And he flew it.
Yep.
That's incredible, okay? So if you guys want to see this fly in real life, you want to try to be compliant so you don't get in trouble and get thrown in the pokey and have to buy soap on the rope for the rest of your life, we're going to help you get there. All right? And if you want to read the manual, a lot of times you can click on the links, follow the description, click on the link to see what this is, and then you can do some comparison and contrasting on your own time. Or you can head over to bprc.me, okay, enter. Don't use control enter like I always do, because that'll add the www.https:// whatever it is. You don't need all that. That's a short link. Or you can go to brianphillipsrc.com. That's a regular domain, okay? It goes to the same place, and then you can compare helicopters by type. You can compare airplanes by type, and also compare by manufacturer. So not necessarily where these are distributed from, but some of them are that way right now. Eventually we hope to get to a spot where they're coordinated by size, possibly colors, things like that, that might be easy identifiers for people. So when you see something on Instagram or you see something on TikTok or you see something on Facebook, and you're like, I want to see what Brian's got to say about it. Well, you can go over there and find it, because we have like 2,000 plus videos right now, 10 years of footage.
Yep.
And I mean, admittedly, some of the early stuff is not going to be as helpful because a lot of it's gone, okay? But
if you want to see the mods and stuff, just to learn more.
And just to give you an idea, you stay right there, I'll bring it to you. This is probably about a 9-year-old helicopter, and I still have it, and it's still one of my all-time favorites, okay? And this thing has dust all over it, guys.
It does.
Planes get dusty, I'm sorry. It doesn't mean I don't love them. But look how sweet that is, guys. This was a Blade heli, okay? Look what we're getting now. This helicopter was like probably $300, I think, when it was new. Okay, it might have been a little bit less, and my memory does not serve me well. But look how sweet this is. Not only do we now have the radar array, which you can take off, by the way. Okay, so you can make it look more like this. Even though this has really good scale lines and really beautiful tail rotor, which, by the way, I wish we had that type of tail rotor on here because it would look more scale. This is the type of thing we're getting that flies itself. This did have safe, okay? But just to give you an idea, to get a helicopter like this nowadays, you can get a helicopter like that that's even better for like 150 bucks ready to fly, or 130 bucks ready to fly. And that's part of the reason why it's so invigorating to me when we're able to bring to our audience something new, exciting, and hits all the check marks on your checklist, okay? This isn't even available. You can't buy it if you want unless you talk me into selling it, which I'm not going to, because that thing is awesome.
Yep.
And it's so sweet, and the gun does move. Oh yeah.
Can I go back to the website real quick? So
Continue.
if you
I'm
go, well, you park that. So if you're looking for this, there's kind of 2 ways to find it on the website. You can click on the sort by type and go to helicopters and see every helicopter that we've reviewed to date, all of them together. Or if you're like, I don't want this one, but I want another GPS heli drone, you can click on the Xiang page and see everything that we've reviewed from them. If you're looking for the Seahawk or the Blackhawk or the other ones that we've done that are by the same manufacturer, and you just want to compare and contrast what they offer.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And that's the reason we do that, is because we understand everybody has limited RC budgets.
Right.
And not everybody is working with all these companies.
No.
Okay? Because like back when I was spending $15,000, $20,000 a year on planes so we could do our YouTube channel, that was painful. That was a huge investment, and also a big strategic plan. I love this stuff, and I wanted to do more of it. I knew I wanted to do so much I couldn't afford it, okay? So that's what we're doing, okay? But if you saw my basement and the containers, we have 2 containers over there that are half full of airplanes, right? One of us is half full
One
of
of us
airplanes.
is
One of
full.
them is, and it's half full of e-bikes too.
Yeah.
Because we know you guys love e-bikes. We just love doing this. And we want to bring the joy of the hobby right into your front door, okay? So if you're just wanting something that you can watch while you're pooping, we're also going to be doing shorts. The shorts are coming. We have to do it. YouTube is basically making us do it. We don't want to do it. We're not going to take anything away from our footage. Our long format stuff is still going to be around just like it always has been. And we're not going to put it to like some pay to play thing where it's just on Patreon, just on YouTube members. We might give them early access on like a video or something that's kind of a short blib. But at the end of the day, we do this for free so that you guys can enjoy it. And the way you can help us is buy these things from the links. We make a small commission. They're happy to sell it. You're happy to get it. Everybody wins, okay? That's the key, okay? Everybody wins. And then over here, you get people that are telling you, buy this right now, buy this right now, buy this. No, don't do that because it might not be right for you, okay? If you buy this and crash it in your front yard, you're gonna be pissed. This is very expensive. You could buy that Avanti almost for the cost of this helicopter. That's a pretty big deal. Now you'd have to have a transmitter and a $200 battery or $180 battery, $150 battery, depending on your budget for the batteries. But at the end of the day, we're not idiots. We know how much this crap costs. I mean, it's expensive. So if it's between that and then this little 300, what is that? Oh gosh, I forget, from Tower. Why am I drawing a blank? The Cessna.
Yeah, it's a 1.1 meter.
I think you could almost buy that and the non-GPS heli drone for the same dollars as you can buy this.
Right.
Okay. So no, we're not trying to talk you out of this. We're just trying to say, when you open your wallet, you open your brain, you start doing some comparison and contrasting, we're gonna help you make good decisions.
And the other thing is when you look at the two and you're like, oh my gosh, this one seems crazy expensive. I mean,
Why?
go.
Like, I don't understand why it's so expensive because it sounds like the Chinese are trying to trick me. And they are, because they don't do a good job of delimiting between the two options.
Yeah.
I wish it said GPS heli drone instead of, now they do have a little GPS mappy thing here, okay? And then this is capable of working with, this just says it has LiDAR, TOF height detection. Okay?
But you really have to look and make sure you're getting the one you want. But what I was gonna say is, if you think this is expensive, like go buy groceries for your family.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean,
that's true. And I forget about that stuff because
everything's expensive.
Everything's
Sorry.
expensive. Well, okay, so hopefully we've answered all your questions and maybe a little bit more than you wanted to hear. But if you stayed around for the whole video, we really appreciate you guys supporting us. If you don't want to buy this, you just don't have the budget for it, your wife's going to offer to murder you if you do, then first of all, tip the UPS guy, have him go around the back, snakes in the basement. Remember, there's a beer truck right around the corner waiting for you. You never know when it's going to take you out. So don't wait to fly until you're an expert, because you're never going to be expert if you don't start. And you're never going to develop any expertise. This is like a one after another thing. It takes time. You remember when I told you I just needed one high wing and one jet?
I do remember that conversation.
Might have been a slight exaggeration.
Maybe.
So if you want to help support this type of behavior, then all you have to do is look no further than Patreon, PayPal, one-time donations, YouTube Super Thanks, one-time donations, or YouTube members. And that gives us some reliable, ordinary income. And this gives us what we really want, which is you flying an awesome Apache. Or better yet, that one, save a few $100 and really enjoy the experience if you're a good enough pilot, okay? Next up, right around the corner, boxes and boxes of delicious, delectable RC. So come back for more. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned.